Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Yesterday we left Roz waking up in the factory, meeting with the designer, Dr. Malovo. Remember her? And she said that Roz doesn't have to pretend anymore to be like a normal robot. And Dr. Malovo was really, really interested in talking to Roz and figuring out maybe why she's the way that she is and why she has a personality and kind of feelings and things like that. So let's continue reading and figure out maybe if there's any answers as to why our Roz is so special. Chapter 80, The Beautiful Glitch. Deep inside the robot factory, Dr. Malovo was sitting with Rosum Unit 7134. Roz was now just a robotic head, but for the moment, her head was all she needed. The robot and the designer had many questions for each other, and they sat there for hours, having conversations like these. "What happened to you on that island?" said Dr. Malovo. "Tell me everything." The robot told her everything. She described how she awoke on a rocky shore and how her only desire was to survive and how difficult life was in that harsh place. "To survive in the wild, I had to become wild," said Roz. "So I studied the wild animals, I mimicked their behavior, and eventually I learned to speak their language." "Incredible," said Dr. Malovo. "You're programmed to learn different languages and you're programmed to work with animals, but I never imagined you could learn to speak with them." "Although I could speak to the animals, they still did not trust me," said Roz. "So I tried to win them over with kindness. Animals ran from me and laughed at me and attacked me, and I always responded with kindness. It was a good strategy, but the real key to my survival came in the form of a gosling. When I adopted Brightbill, everything changed. I was finally accepted by the animals. I was surrounded by friends and family. I was home." "Am I the only wild robot?" said Roz. Well, I don't know," said Dr. Malovo. "Many defective robots have been returned over the years. It's possible some were like you, until we destroyed them." "Will you destroy me?" said Roz. The woman sighed. "Roz, people are afraid of you. They saw you fleeing through the city and they think you're dangerous. They want to know the danger is gone. And so, when we're finished speaking, I will have to destroy you." "I am not dangerous," said the robot. "That part of my programming has never failed. Even if I wanted to be violent, I could not." "Have you ever wanted to be violent?" she asked. "No. Every problem has a peaceful solution. Violence is unnecessary." "I wish it were that simple," said Dr. Malovo. "It's an amazing time to be alive, but there are still crime and there are still wars. Sometimes violence is unavoidable." "Is that why you have the Ricos?" said Roz. "The Ricos are designed to do all sorts of unpleasant jobs. Some of those jobs require the use of force." "Do you ever worry that they might use force against you?" "The Ricos have never given me a single reason to worry," said Dr. Malovo. "But you have." How did you escape from Hilltop Farm?" said Dr. Malovo, leaning forward. Roz didn't answer. "Let me guess. The children helped." Roz just stared. "They're not in any trouble. If I were them, I would have helped you too." "They are good children," said Roz finally. "And yet you left them," said Dr. Malovo. "Leaving them was not easy. I care about everyone on Hilltop Farm, and I did my best to look after them all. But I did not belong there. And when the children discovered who I really was, they agreed. They wanted me to go home, so they helped me escape." "Why do I fear water? Why am I female? Why was my body designed this way? Why does my computer brain know some things and not others?" Why, Dr. Malovo laughed. Why do you need all the answers? You programmed me to learn, said Roz. I am simply trying to learn about myself. The woman shifted in her seat. Those questions are more complicated than you realize. There are countless little considerations that go into designing any robot. I have to determine the robot's size and strength and appearance. I have to give the robot proper programming and a computer brain. I have to predict how many people will react to the robot. I have to predict how they will react to the robot. I have to imagine everything that could possibly go wrong. But all my decisions are guided by a single question. What is the robot's purpose? Quietly, Roz asked the designer, what is my purpose? I am sorry to disappoint you, Roz, but you don't have some grand purpose. Like all other Rosum robots, you were designed to work for humans. That is it. The robot thought for a moment. Then she said, I once suggested to a group of wild animals that my purpose might simply be to help others. The designer thought for a moment, and then she said, well, when you put it that way, your purpose does sound rather grand, doesn't it? How would you feel if someone said you could never go home to your family? Said Roz. Dr. Malovo smirked. Nobody would say that to me. I've spent my whole life creating robots. I've never had time for a family. You created me, said Rosum. In a way, I am your child, and you are my mother. I am not your mother, said Dr. Malovo flatly. I am not your mother, repeated Roz. Those were my very first words to Brightbill, but I was very wrong. The woman stroked her chin. Up on the rooftop before you fell, what were your very last words to Brightbill? I told him I loved him. How do you know your feelings are real? Said the woman. How do you know your feelings are real? Said the robot. Your brain might be defective, said Dr. Malovo, but it certainly is fascinating. I did not choose to be this way, said Roz, but this is who I am. You would be wild too if you have been born and raised in the wilderness. Maybe I am defective. Maybe everything I have experienced is a result of a glitch. But if so, what a beautiful glitch. I have my own thoughts and feelings. I made a life for myself. I have a son. Brightbill is somewhere out there, right now, wondering if he will ever see his mother again. Dr. Malovo, you do not have to destroy me. You can fix me, and I will return to my island, and this city will never see me again. I promise. I just want to go home. Please help me. There were tears in Dr. Malovo's eyes, and mine. The old woman had heard enough. Without a word, she reached behind Roz's head and pressed the button. Click. Guys, that was a pretty intense chapter. It made me tear up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I think this chapter is so important, not just about our wild robot and Dr. Malovo, but I think there's a lot of things that we can really learn and look at from this chapter. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the comparison that Raza made to Brightbill being her son and her kind of being like Dr. Malovo's daughter and Dr. Malova being the mom. And the point that I want to make with that one is I think it's really cool how families can look different. They can be blended families. There can be different, all types of different ways that you can become a family. And I think that is super, super important. Some families have a mom and a dad at home and brothers and sisters. Some families just have a mom. Some families just have a dad. Some families have two moms, two dads. Some families have no siblings and you're an only child. Some people are being raised by their grandparents or adopted families. I think it is so awesome. Or there's sometimes step families like we have in my family. I just think it's so awesome that there's tons of different ways to become a family, and it's all based around love for each other. The other thing that really made this chapter really special to me were the different conversations that Roz was having with Dr. Malovo. And I think the thing that was pretty interesting, and this is a little bit deep for first and second grade, but the fact that Dr. Malovo seemed to be a little bit more of a robot than Roz did. Dr. Malovo didn't have a family and didn't seem to really have any friends or other hobbies, and all she did was work, right? All she did was work in her factory. And that's what a robot's job is, right? A robot's job is to work and nothing else. And that's kind of all Dr. Malovo did. But Roz, who's an actual robot, had a family and friends and a job and hobbies and did fun things and was more human. So I thought it was really interesting how it was kind of the opposite. Another part that really stood out to me is the conversation that Rozum, or the part where Roz was talking to Dr. Malovo, saying that she survived in the wilderness by being kind. And that's how she learned to survive, was by being kind to the other animals. And by her kindness, she built bonds with them, and then they all became friends. And that's exactly what she said. She was finally accepted by the animals, and she was surrounded by friends and family. She was home. That, to me, is just another example of how kindness is so, so important. Even if, what do you think would have happened to Roz if she would have been mean and violent and rude and unhelpful and ungrateful to all the other animals on the island? The beavers wouldn't have helped her build the nest. The deer wouldn't have helped her build the garden. The kids wouldn't have helped her escape from Hilltop Farms. The cows wouldn't have helped. All the pigeons, I mean, everything Brightbill did was for kindness. So that's important as we remember. And then lastly, I think the most important thing, the beautiful glitch. A glitch is, Roz's glitch was something that made her special and unique and different, and something that was normally considered wrong or a bad thing was the most amazing thing about Roz. The best thing about her. It's a beautiful glitch, right? Kind of like a happy accident. And I think that everybody has beautiful glitches. Something about themselves that is sometimes could be considered bad or wrong by others, but really they're really, really good, amazing things. Is there anything that you can talk about with your family that you feel like maybe is a beautiful glitch about yourself? And kind of think about how that could be a good thing, or how sometimes it could be seen as maybe a bad thing, but it's actually a really, really good thing and makes you you and makes you unique and makes you special. So today's assignment is simple, and it's a really big thinker, and I want you to talk about it with your families, and maybe read this chapter with them, your beautiful glitch. So I want to know about your beautiful glitch. See you guys tomorrow.